Eric Rucker says, did the Niners and the rest of the NFC West agree to take on the international players in exchange for not having to be on Hard Knocks?
I'm hoping they don't get on Hard Knocks. I'm praying for it.
Why?
I feel like every time your team goes on Hard Knocks, you're like already like, it's just another set of like, fandom comes with superstition. And so when you're superstitious, right, and I'm a little superstitious, like you see the results of every team that's been on Hard Knocks and you're like, oh man. And so that's just another thing to worry about.
I've never really watched it. I don't have HBO. So is it kind of just like make a circus out of the season before it starts?
A little bit, yeah, and they create random camp storylines, and it looks like some of the stuff that's set up it's set up. Like some of the conversations they have, like they had one Hard Knock segment I'll never forget when they did it with the Browns. Baker's rookie year, Hugh Jackson brought Baker Mayfield into his office and congratulated him for beating out, I think it was Drew Stanton, for the backup quarterback job. And he's like, I just wanted to bring you in and congratulate you. And Baker Mayfield is kind of looking at him like, this is freaking ridiculous, man. I'm the number 1 overall pick, and you're congratulating me about winning the backup job.
Thanks. This is great. I'm really excited, Hugh. We're going to have a really long, fruitful relationship.
It's a little setup for show. And then, like last year, Anthony Lynn was like at a barbecue, and he was doing some barbecue, and they were interviewing him while he was like cooking. It's just a very odd thing. It's a little bit set up. I mean, we'll see. If the Niners did it, obviously George Kittle would just steal the show. But I think that
which would be good. Maybe he'd take the focus away from people who don't want it. Who else would get
Nick Bosa? They would definitely do like one segment, where ad to ad, it would just be about Nick Bosa's work ethic and all of that. That would be
Nick Bosa's thighs, Nick Bosa's brother. Nick Bosa's brother's in the NFL too. His dad also played in the NFL. It's a true story.
Kyle Juszczyk.
Hey, Trey Lance,
Jimmy. 100%. Yeah.
But no, the Niners won't want it because they would cover the quarterback controversy in such detail. It would make the Niners very uncomfortable.
They would also portray a narrative that they might not want to portray for the Hard Knocks.
Maybe they'd be pro Jimmy.
No, because what sells, and they do this every year in Hard Knocks, and it ticks me off, is, the rookie quarterback has to adjust to the struggles of the NFL. And they did that segment with Justin Herbert, and then we come and find out by week 2, Justin Herbert is already playing like a top 15 quarterback in the NFL, and he's out there looking comfortable and all of that. So they would do that segment, and I don't think the Niners want that.
Right. Thanks, Eric. Sean has one question. We'll get back to the final obstacle, the biggest obstacle. Sean says, you guys forget the 49ers surrounded him with former DCs. That is true. Why isn't anyone really talking about Shanahan having the only power version of his scheme?
Because he doesn't. McVay added all of those elements last year into his run game. LaFleur added a little bit.
It's a two tight end run game over there in LA.
And then they surrounded him with a bunch of former DCs, and I think it's going to be interesting. James Betcher, I think, will add a bunch of he was a creative defensive coordinator when he was in Arizona, so I'm sure there'll be some creative blitzes and all of that. But at the end of the day, no matter whoever you surround him with, DeMeco Ryans is going to have to be the one making decisions. Shanahan can help him with the game plan and all of that, and we all think that he could be really good. But it's impossible to just make that projection and say DeMeco Ryans is going to be an excellent defensive coordinator, especially when the guy he's replacing in Robert Saleh was unbelievable last year. Unbelievable.
Right. And also, I think a lot of people assume that DeMeco is going to be doing his best to recreate what Robert Saleh did, to do his best Robert Saleh impersonation. Well, Robert Saleh is gone, and there are other former DCs in the building, namely Betcher. Maybe Betcher's going to have a very big creative influence. I mean, why wouldn't he? Would you not listen to him if you were DeMeco, would you say, listen, James, thank you for your input, but I'm going to do what I think Robert Saleh would have done, what I think he would have done.
But DeMeco, also look at the styles of defense DeMeco played in his career. They were heavy blitz defense. They're a little different from what Robert Saleh's been doing. So I'm sure it's going to be different. And I'm not saying he couldn't be good. I'm saying he could be very good. We're just going to have to watch him grow. And even if he is a prodigy for this job, there's going to be a learning curve.
I thought there was a learning curve for Saleh, who ended up being pretty darn near prodigy.